My topic is improve operating systems to manage and store large databases. So this is my overview. Uh, so here I am not going to explain this introduction part. So as you said, I will start from literature survey part. So in literature survey, we have identified existing methods that used to enhance DB support in operating systems. So we have identified advantages and drawbacks of existing systems. So here we are going to explain those methods one by one. First, we have to identify database query processing in OS. There are we can identify several query processing mechanisms like inter-query parallelism and inter-query parallelism. So and also when we discussing about query processing, we have to identify shared memory say architectures. So there are several shared architectures. First one is shared nothing, shared memory. Like uh, in here there are uh, we have shared or non-shared architecture, uh, like processors, memory, things, etc. So when we discuss the query processing, there is a operating system called Polystore based database operating system. So this operating system also work based on parallel query processing. So with this approach, processors schedule a flow and permission states all the things structured into database tables. So here we can identify several gaps, so like all the things that they have structured into one monolithic architecture. So the main problem of this architecture is optimization problems. Likewise, there are various kind of problems we can identify. Operating system architectural support for DB. So here we have discussed about how operating system support to database from architectural perspective. So lot of operating system architectures are less flexible for major changes. So here we can identify one good development called data-centric architecture. Uh, but in this architecture creates several problems, like it has built with one monolithic architecture. So those kind of problems become other things is computer hardware and operating system. As we know, computer hardware performance increasing rapidly, but correspondingly operating system develops slightly behind that. So we have to consider uh, that matter also. And also there is a problem with power management in operating system. uh, to manage power, operating systems decreases its abilities. So, according to Mahadi, they have developed a special storage devices which is powered with Linux operating system, which will helps to avoid bottlenecks in such kind of kind of hardwares. So we have here discussed several kind of things like that. So other thing is database uh, OS support for application with massive data. So here we have discussed about uh, big applications like ERP applications. So when we work with big applications like ERP applications, it will hard to manage databases in those systems. So they have suggest new operating system uh, called slap OS. This operating system is has ability to manage ERP applications. So, and when we discuss the uh, data handling in operating system, there are some software will disrupt the process of data handling. As examples, virus guard software will slow down the data exchange process. Real-time data processing in operating system. When we discuss the real-time data processing, it is very crucial because uh, very sensitive data and lot of real-time data will exchange uh, with uh, real-time database services. So we have to consider that mostly. So as examples, more mobile phones, IoT devices, such devices uh, make data real time. So here we have to consider uh, mobile phone operating system. Mobile phone operating system should be optimized to handle real-time data. So here we have discussed about that. Uh, Here we are going to answer a few questions like architectural matters, core processing, computer hardware support, real-time processing. Likewise, several problems we are going to answer. So database process using query is unique thing in relational database, but uh, when it's come to the operating system, it is bit different. So this kind of things we are going to discuss about uh, future slides. Okay, to answer those questions, we have proposed several things. First one is load balancing and scheduling module. So here we have uh, discussing uh, balance load, database load through several hardware and software parts. So there are various kind of load balancers. Here we have uh, discuss about dynamic load balancers. So it can help uh, balance the load between several processors in parallelly. So multi-threading processors and multi-core processors will help to also leverage those workloads. And other thing is integrated tracer. So this tracer will help to handle big amount of data. Tracer will trace the processes, database exchange process and kernel functions, and it will minimize the traffic between those processors. Other thing is most important thing is data centric architecture. So in this architecture we have discussed about uh, we have uh, put all the processes and all the status in under one umbrella. So it's a kind of table like architecture. So as example, in the Linux operating system, lot of things are files. So in the data centric architecture, they're trying to make everything is as a table. So finally we have suggestion to use artificial intelligence practices. So artificial intelligence is most very important part of today's software. So we can use that practices to improve performance of databases in operating systems. So we can improve scheduling algorithms, uh, kind of things using artificial intelligence. So uh, here we have come up with a conclusion. So we have identified several data processing related weaknesses, and we have given a few suggestions to improve that. improve operating system to manage and store large databases. Thank you. Here is my references. Thank you, sir.